Well, once again, it's my privilege to act as your time travel guide as we take you back to the night of the 23rd of December, 1814. The British troops had landed that day. The weather had been a little bit unusual in that the Battle of Lake Bourne, when that was fought, there was a very strong offshore tide and a very strong wind, which had lowered the level of Lake Bourne so that the American ships were grounded and the British longboats were able to attack them while they could only swing on their cables without maneuvering. So Andrew Jackson's eyes in Lake Bourne had been blinded. Those self-same longboats were then used to ferry British troops to their landing spot on the Villeray plantation. The weather was warm. British troops began to relax. They were waiting for their commander, because General Pakenham was not with the troops at this point. He didn't arrive until Christmas Day, the 25th of December. So it was Major General Keane who had decided, despite some advice from other of his officers to press on and try to capture New Orleans immediately, he decided to camp, to rest his army, and to wait for the new commander. And so, as night fell, the British camp grew silent and dark. You must remember that unlike today, where we're used to so much ambient light, back then, only the light of the moon came through. And if you were in woods, you were in pitch darkness. Captain Hallen of the 95th Foot, the Rifle Brigade, was down by the river, and he saw a boat approaching, small ship. He assumed that it was a British ship bringing supplies to the camp. Not being a naval man, he didn't realize that there were no British ships on the Mississippi River. This was part of an attack that had been planned by Jackson. As soon as he knew the British had landed, he had exclaimed, "The British shall not sleep on our soil," and he had put together a very audacious attack. At 7:30, the USS Carolina, for that's what the ship was, opened fire. Grape shot and round shot flew through the British camp. The pickets that had been put out were in confusion. They didn't see any troops on the land because at the moment no troops faced them. They didn't know quite what to do. They were obviously under attack, but where from? And then they heard through the darkness an American advance. Fighting in the dark was a very tricky thing to do. As I said, with no ambient light, then there was very little to see. Eventually, of course, you did get some night vision. But when you were facing troops firing muskets, as you will see, the musket creates quite a lot of light when it's fired. So if you're looking at somebody when they fire a musket, that light blinds you for a second, and you lose your night vision. So bullets fly at you, and then you're blind. And you have to maneuver. You have to reload your musket. This is where training comes in. Because if you can't load your musket automatically without looking in pitch darkness, then you don't have a musket anymore, you have a club. Even as the battle started, there were more British troops landing. And constantly through the action, boats were unloading and British troops were marching forward to join the action, to relieve troops that had been in action, and to hold back this attack.